Good morning everybody, it's Wednesday today and a much brighter day. It looks as if it's going to be better than the last 2 days have been anyway. They were really dull and raining, as you know, very cold for all the poor people who have decided that they would like to return back to sit outside pubs and cafes and restaurants. So today hopefully it'll be a wee bit better. I bet you it's still quite cold though, but at least it's a wee bit sunny, so that will make a difference. So Wednesday today, afternoon service this afternoon, 2 o'clock as normal for our Wednesday people. There are some spaces available on a Wednesday, not many but 1 or 2, so if anyone has been thinking about maybe coming back and they haven't taken that first move, maybe an afternoon would be a good time to come along. Sunday morning is chock-a-block and with extras, but a Wednesday afternoon there are 1 or 2 spaces that could be filled by people if you would like to give a wee try at coming back into church. So just let us know about that. West Kirk Weekly tonight, and apart from that, not really much else to report. Moira and Helen are delighted with all the donations towards their kilt walk. So if you've managed to do that, that's great, and it's all been gratefully received. Nothing else really to say, I don't think. There are some new rules have come out this week with the fact that we've gone into our level 3. Some new rules have come out from the Church of Scotland. Another weighty tome to read, and as you will appreciate, over the last couple of days we've been a bit busy, so haven't had a time really to sit down and study it from beginning to end, but I will take time over the next couple of days to do that, and we'll see if there are any changes that will affect us at all. There is one which mentions the balconies, but we will need to kind of look into that. So we've been reading from 1 Samuel, and yesterday we were reading about David slaying Goliath, and today we're on with a bit more about the story of David, and we're starting 1 Samuel chapter 18, starting at verse 6. As David was returning after killing Goliath, and as the soldiers were coming back home, women from every town in Israel came out to meet King Saul. They were singing joyful songs, dancing and playing tambourines and lyres. In their celebration, the women sang, "Saul has killed thousands, but David tens of thousands." Saul did not like this, and he became very angry, and he said, "For David they claim tens of thousands, but only thousands for me. They will be making him king next." And so he was jealous and suspicious of David from that day on. The next day, an evil spirit from God suddenly took control of Saul, and he raved in his house like a madman. David was playing the harp, as he did every day, and Saul was holding a spear. "I'll pin him to the wall," Saul said to himself, and he threw the spear at him twice, but David dodged each time. Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with David, but had abandoned him. So Saul sent him away and put him in command of 1,000 men. David led his men in battle and was successful in all he did because the Lord was with him. Saul noticed David's success and became even more afraid of him. But everyone in Israel and Judah loved David because he was such a successful leader. Then Saul said to David, "Here is my older daughter Merab. I will give her to you as your wife on condition that you serve me as a brave and loyal soldier and fight the Lord's battles." David answered, "Who am I and what is my family that I should become the king's son-in-law?" But when the time came for Merab to be given to David, she was given instead to a man named Adriel from Mahalath. Saul's daughter, Michal, however, fell in love with David, and when Saul heard this, he was pleased. He said to himself, "I'll give Michal to David. I will use her to trap him, and he will be killed by the Philistines." So for the second time, Saul said to David, "You will be my son-in-law." He ordered his officials to speak privately with David and tell him, "The king is pleased with you, and all his officials like you. Now is a good time for you to marry his daughter." So they told this to David, and he answered, "It's a great honour to become the king's son-in-law. too great for someone poor and insignificant like me." The officials told Saul what David had said, and Saul ordered them to tell David, "All the king wants from you as payment for the bride are the foreskins of 100 dead Philistines as revenge on his enemies." This was how Saul planned to have David killed by the Philistines. Saul's officials reported to David what Saul had said, and David was delighted with the thought of becoming the king's son-in-law. Before the day set for the wedding, David and his men went and killed 200 Philistines. He took their foreskins to the king and counted them all out to him, so that he might become his son-in-law. So Saul had to give his daughter Michal in marriage to David. Saul realised clearly that the Lord was with David, and also that his daughter Michal loved him, so he became even more afraid of David and was his enemy as long as he lived. The Philistine armies would come and fight, but in every battle David was more successful than any of Saul's other officers. As a result, David became very famous. Amen, and God bless this reading from 1 Samuel chapter 18. Have a good day, everybody. We're trying to get back to a wee bit more of normality. Family are all away. John's away yesterday, yep. And because I've lost the plot of the days again, yes, John went home yesterday and he is back home. And today he watches Brodie, and we call it Boys' Day, so today is Boys' Day. So he's back in charge of Brodie, or I think actually Brodie is probably in charge of John on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. I think what suits Brodie is what goes. However, it's Boys' Day, and my brother and sister-in-law are going home to Somerset today, so that's all family away, and we will try and get back to a wee bit more of an even keel, hopefully. So thanks again, everybody, for all your cards and everything that are still coming in the post today. We've received them all. We've been delighted with them all, and we're so delighted that everyone is thinking about us, and we do appreciate it. So take care, everybody. We will see you tomorrow, Thursday tomorrow, and we'll catch up then. Bye.